Hey everybody, in this video for my Soldiers of Stargrave series, I'll be discussing the Armoured Trooper. Hey everybody, I'm Alan, with Bricks and Blocks Gaming, tabletop gaming with bricks and blocks and helping to build your gameplay experience. In the game of Stargrave, the combat armor wearing Armoured Troopers are the top of the line soldiers that you can hire. In this video, I'll be discussing what combat armor looks like, the stats and equipment of Armoured Troopers, their job in your crew, some tips and strategies for using them, and give my personal opinion about these soldiers. So let's get to the bricks and blocks of Armoured Troopers for Stargrave. Combat armor is described in the book as providing full body protection, its own air supply, powered limbs, and being immensely heavy. And I'll point out it does not give the figure the large trait. So when selecting a miniature, something that's slightly larger scaled than your other figures will probably work best. But if all your minis are the same scale, like when gaming with bricks and blocks, it is a bit more challenging to represent this. So just taking something that's the same scale but with fully enclosed armor, like a Mandalorian or Iron Man figure, or something that just has thicker looking armor works as well. And you could kind of fudge the description a little, perhaps using something like the loader that Ripley drives in Aliens to represent the combat armor. For the Armoured Troopers' stats, they have a move of 6, fight +4, shoot +4, armor of 13, will +3, and 14 health. They carry their choice of a carbine or a shotgun, and wear combat armor, which gives them their 13 armor, and includes a hand weapon, a backup pistol, and an integrated filter mask. Armoured Troopers are specialist soldiers, so they'll fill one of your 4 specialist slots. And hiring one of these soldiers will cost you a game-high 150 credits. Also, the combat armor has a maintenance fee of 50 credits that must be paid at the start of each battle. If not paid, the soldier must sit out that game, but the player is allowed to take a temporary recruit or runner to fill their slot on the battlefield. And it was ruled in the official FAQ that the items integrated into the combat armor can be replaced with advanced versions of these you might find or purchase, but those still take up the 1 gear slot the soldiers have for advanced gear. Armoured Troopers are able to do just about anything on the battlefield. Their move of 6 is solid for getting them to wherever they need to go. Their shoot value of +4 means they're just as accurate at shooting as snipers. They're able to dish out decent damage in close combat with their hand weapon and +4 fight. And this stat plus their 14 health and game-high 13 armor means they're great at surviving in close combat and dodging shooting attacks. And when they do get shot, taking less damage than other soldiers means they're less likely to get stunned. Also, their will stat of +3 helps them to resist certain game effects they may be exposed to and unlock loot in a pinch. But really their main role should be focused on combat. My first tip for these soldiers is to equip them with a shotgun and not a carbine. I think if you're planning to have something that hangs back to shoot from long distances, you should probably be hiring a sniper or even a gunner and then just save yourself some money. Your Armoured Troopers should be near the action, so the +1 damage with the shorter range shotgun is preferable. There is a question about whether it makes more sense to use these soldiers as short range shooters or as close combat experts. They are the best soldiers in the core book at melee fighting, and while they have a high survivability rate, they actually aren't that much better at winning and inflicting damage than most of the other specialist soldiers. However, their armor means they'll usually stay alive for a while, so they can tie up an opponent for a long time. They also serve well as a wall, positioned strategically on the battlefield to defend a location with a shotgun blast at anything that moves close. And they're able to handle their business when someone decides to move into combat with them. One usual problem with moving figures up close to the action is the power of enemy flamethrowers. These weapons deal +2 damage and ignore the benefit of light and heavy armor. But combat armor still provides its full protection. So Armored Troopers can be good counters to opponents that like to employ multiple burners. For their other equipment, their backup pistol probably won't be getting too much use, but it is always nice to have just in case. And their filtration mask also won't be getting much use. I think only one scenario from the core book has game mechanics that specifically benefit from having one of these. And earlier, I mentioned that the +3 will of Armored Troopers can help them unlock loot. This should really be done as a last resort option, because if you end up using these soldiers for this purpose, you've probably hired the wrong soldier. One thing I would have liked to see with the Armored Troopers is the ability to use their gear slot to instead equip different weaponry. Giving them something like a flamethrower, a rapid fire, or a grenade launcher just seems more fitting, as the carbine or shotgun they carry feels a bit underwhelming. Perhaps we'll get armored shock troopers in a later expansion for high-leveled crews or something. As they stand, my opinion about Armored Troopers is kind of mixed. They're very powerful soldiers, but they're also a very big commitment. I think they'll often be best as late campaign hires, when you've got lots of extra money to both hire them and maintain their combat armor. If hired at the start of a campaign, they'll limit your other recruiting options and your financial growth as they eat up 50 credits every battle. So I think that if you choose to start with one of these, you should really build your team around them, ideally learning the armory power, which can cancel the maintenance fee, or possibly haggle to give you discounts on things, or the investments power from the Quarantine 37 supplement to get you some extra cash. The heal power also works great with Armored Troopers. Their 13 armor means they can negate a lot of damage they're dealt, and being able to restore any lost health that does occur can make them nearly indestructible. Though they can be one-shotted by a lowly recruit that happens to roll a critical hit against them. So, while not for everyone, with the right crew and finances, these soldiers can be a great addition. If you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a video. And let me and the community know in the comments below your thoughts about Armored Troopers in Stargrave. I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming. Thanks for watching and play well.